Hey, I'm Deterius.
And I'm Sanisha, and we are your friendly neighborhood reviewers. We review all things from travel and entertainment
to news and food. Like and subscribe today. So today we're going to be doing something, we're going to be reviewing a popular new show on Apple TV called Chief of War, starring Jason Momoa, and it's based in Hawaii before colonization. It just came out August 1st, so make sure after this you run right on over to Apple TV, get your subscription, and watch this. I guarantee you will not be disappointed.
We are not sponsored. We're not getting any payment for anything. We're just reviewing for entertainment purposes only.
Absolutely. And honestly, we've been kind of waiting for this.
Yeah, we saw the thumbnail on there, and then we started seeing previews on YouTube. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great, because there's another one by Jason Momoa where it's called See and They're Blind. Couldn't get into it, but maybe some people do like it. We couldn't get into it, so I'm like, nah, we gonna see. And he redeemed himself on this show. They uploaded 2 episodes on the launch, and both episodes are amazing. I cannot wait for episode 3. So we definitely would encourage you guys to definitely subscribe. And yeah, here's our special guest as always, Savannah. Say hi.
Absolutely. And this one actually, surprisingly, this was written and produced by Jason Momoa. It's kind of something, he is from a Hawaii native, so this was kind of, his culture, and it's interesting to see him in this light. Now, we've seen him in all other movies. We've seen him in Minecraft. He was also in Aquaman. We've seen him in different roles, but
even the Fast and the Furious,
yes,
he did a really good job in that.
Fast X, he did an amazing job in there as a villain. And this one was something that kind of, I don't want to say, this was something right up his alley. And I think this is a show that is really, really going to take off. And like once you hear about it, I guarantee you it's going to pique your interest, and I promise you're going to not want to miss out on this. I know there are other shows like BMF and all these other things that are going on, but I promise you, this show right here is it. This is it. If you like action and you like history and you like just straight up brawls, I'm telling you, you're going to want to stick around for this.
And before we get into it, I just want to let you know we are going to review it with all the spoilers. So if you do not want to spoil it for yourself, I would say wait to continue, and then watch the show and then come back and finish the video with us. But we're gonna kind of go into it. And also I wanted to actually share about the show is it's not in English, so most of it is in their native tongue. So it does have all the subtitles, so you can read along. But honestly, because it's so good, you don't even mind the subtitles. Like it's really, really good. So I think the series is going to be talking more with this show, because these type of shows, when they're like, I don't know, when they're like war or they're like built in certain settings, he be just following along great. I be sitting there like, what's the person's name again? What's going on again? Like I be feeling so slow. So he probably is going to be a lot more talkative in these videos with this particular show. And I don't mind it, because honestly, he's helping me understand. Like we watched Lord of the Rings and things together, and I still can't, and that movie was years ago, and I still can't remember like everybody's name and the setting, and all. It's just be a lot because of my brain. So
now I do ask you to give me some grace, because I am probably going to butcher some names because of the language that it's in, but you'll get the gist of it once you see it, and you'll understand once you watch it. You'll be like, how do you pronounce that?
Right.
So it's really, like I said, this is authentic. And when you see stuff like certain historical context, you look for the authenticity. That's what I do. So I love when I get to watch shows like this, and because it lets your mind kind of wander.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna get off with the episode 1. So this one was it's the setting is before colonization. Now this is the time where Hawaii wasn't really, you know, a part of the United States yet. It was still very tribal. So you have different tribes. You have Maui tribe. You have Hawaii tribe. You have all different tribes here. And this in colonization, the colonizers, what they call pale skins, which you would hear that very long. They had already came, and you know they tried to, you know, make a contact with the locals here. So that kind of gives you the time frame of when this all took place. So I would say it's pretty within 1900s. It's in the 1900s, after slavery, and you know the United States is becoming, you know, more and more, and so that's kind of the time frame area that this is in. So it's not too far away. Like this is not something that's extremely before Civil War, slavery type stuff. This is like close in that area, after the area of the era of, you know, slavery. So again, Jason Momoa is the main character. His name is Kaiana. He was the war chief, or the chief of war's son, who up under the king Kahekili, and he abandoned his post. The first episode picks up after he's been gone for quite a while, and nobody could find him. And it's not only just him, it's his brother, his girlfriend, and her sister, and his brother's wife, and I believe someone else. I know it's his brothers that he's with. And they kind of, you know, ran away, and he abandoned his title. We learned that his father had died in a war, and so he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to be a part of the war anymore. And it's ironic because you're the war chief and you don't really want war anymore, you know. So that's kind of preluded. Also, so one day, you know, after, you know, I think it's like 3 years, they finally find Kaiana, I'm sorry, and ask him to join, you know, to come back because there's a threat now to the tribe, and they need his help, you know, to fight the battle. So he is visited by the new war chief, and they let him know. He's immediately met with aggression, and they tell him, hey, look, the only reason you're alive, I'm not killing you right now, is because the king wants you. But he let him know immediately, like, that, hey, that I don't like you, and if any time you give any chance he gets that you decide that you want to not, you know, be a part of this, I will hunt you down, and when I find you, I'm gonna kill you. Because abandoning your post, even when I was in the military, that's a big no-no. If you go AWOL, there are serious consequences, and a lot of times that's death, because that's treason. And him being the war chief now, because his father was the war chief, that's a high penalty. You got to make an example out of that person. So once he arrived, everybody knew who he was, and immediately he was challenged by Nui. He's a fearsome warrior. He has never been defeated, and his main weapon of choice is the spear. And you can tell he is deadly accurate with that spear. You see him training with other warriors, and they're running, trying to get close to him, and he's taking that spear and he is knocking breath out of them. Like he is knocking the wind from beneath their wings. Like, dude is on a whole nother level when it comes with that spear, and he has never been defeated. So you have the former war chief, who is really, he's the best fighter. There's a reason why he's the war chief. So he got challenged, and at first he was, you know, he was letting it go, he was letting it slide by, but then, you know, it got close to his head, So he accepted the challenge immediately. Like, okay, I gave you the first 3 times, I let it slide, but I can't let this one slide. And I know we've all been there before, where you try to, you know, you come in peace, but now you got to be ready for war because you didn't cross the line. And New Eye crossed the line at that point. And so Jason Moore, you know, gets down, he gets that adrenaline going, and he darts off towards him. And New Eye is throwing him spears. Like, where other guys was getting knocked out, he was deflecting it. He even caught the spear. Like, he was going, it was intense. And he beat him. He beat the snot out of him.
The craziest ending to the fight was him just like breaking his arm and then like jamming some type of dagger into his skin. I was like, that was just like let me just show you what I can really do. Like, I ain't gonna kill you, I'm gonna just hurt you a little bit. Like, it wasn't even
for real. It was showing strength.
And I'm pretty sure they already warned him, and they knew how, you know, Kiana. Everybody knew his fighting style. Everybody knew the strength he had and everything else. So I don't even know why he challenged him, but he got what was coming to him.
This
Let
is
him
a
know who
classic
was
case
who.
of F around
And
find out. And he found out. He found out very quickly.
That scene was like, once you got into that part, you like, oh, you up. You said, okay, I'm ready for what's next. Because that was dope. That fight was dope.
And it wasn't even like 10 minutes in, and you got this interaction, and the king comes down, you know, and he kind of, you know, he welcomes him, which made everybody, you know, all right, look, I'm not trying to, you know, I'm trying to keep peace because we need him. Like,
clearly,
we need him. This is why we need him.
Yeah, exactly.
So he breaks it down. What's going on? He tells them that there's an alliance threatening to take over, and their army is twice the size of theirs. And in this alliance, there's allegedly three war chiefs that are trying to fulfill the prophecy. Now, they didn't really kind of divulge into the prophecy right then and there, but it kind of set the scene for what's to come. It was, in this case, it was foreshadowing what is supposed to happen. And there are in cultures where, even in a black community, we have certain cultural beliefs where, especially people in the tribal areas, era where we believe, oh, there's going to be a unification of the people, and this is kind of in one king. If you've watched Lord of the Rings, it's like the one ring to rule them all type. That's what this setting is for. It's the one king who's supposed to kind of unite all the banners, basically. And King Kahekili is, you know, is nervous because he don't think that he can't face them alone, so he needs that extra help. And with Kayana, he has that help. So if the whole tribe is like, they're on edge because they don't want to do one false move, and you kind of can mess up this entire alliance. So when the king, he embraces Kayana and forgives him for abandoning his post, everybody kind of step back and is like, okay, well, as long as he ceases honoring, and the king is not, you know, feeling no threat, we'll respect the king's wishes. But nobody really trusted him. So Kayana at first is like, you know, I need time to think about this because I don't want to. Again, he stood on his principle. I don't want to lead my family into another senseless war. He don't want to kill his own kind. He's at a place where he's trying to find peace, and he wants to start a family. He wants to, you know. It's a tough predicament when all you've been knowing is fight, and now you don't. At some point, you get tired of fighting, and he was at that point. He done lost everything. He done lost his father. They didn't really get to grieve, so he never got to find his father. He never got to find the killers. Like, he was hurt, And the King Kaikili understood that from what they showed in this episode. He understood that, and he wanted to kind of gain his trust. So Kayana and his tribe, they went back home. They talked it out. The brothers, the first conflict within his own tribe, the brothers was like, well, if this is going to happen, we want to go fight. However, Kayana did not want to fight. He made it very clear that I don't want to be a part of this. And it kind of had them in a place where, all right, I love you as my brother, but I can't follow you and be a coward, you know, because we already looked at us like cowards. And so the king comes back the next day and asks him, you know, hey, I know you haven't settled on what you want to do, so let me explain to you what's going on. So this is the first time that they break down the plan, and he tells him that there's an alliance has been between Oahu with King Hahana, and has formed an alliance with Maui after time. And there's in the not the prophecies, but the high priest. And the high priest is very dangerous, according to King Kahakili. But King Hahana was considered, he was young, he was very young, and he was basically looked at as like kind of a coward king, like he will follow whoever has the strength. So Kayana was like, okay, well, maybe we could talk to him, but King Kaikili was not, you know, he's dealing out of a place of strength. So he tells, he reminds Kaikini of the prophecy that, you know, one king will rule, and under that, all of the nations, all the tribes will fall in line, and they will follow the one king that was promised to them to rule them into and make them a nation. And tensions run high again, because he's nervous. He don't know if he could trust King Kaikili, because the last war that was in, it was based off of his arrogance, and he was greedy.
I think the reason why they did reconnect too, though, is because the king did mention that. Like, I know the last time it worked out was because of my pride and my arrogance, and he basically made it, you know, just was like, I've changed, and I want to do better for our, you know, alignment, and for our culture, whatever we call their tribe.
Yes.
So that's basically part of the reason why Kayana was just like, all right, you know, maybe he turned over a new leaf, so
right.
He's a little more optimistic about it. Like, all right, you know. And then I think with his dad, he gifted the bones and something like that, right?
Well, yeah. So yes, he did. He the way it's like, you know, the old saying, the enemy never comes to you with a sword. They'll figure out how to, you know, get you to what it is that really, you know, will strike you, and try to use that to manipulate you to doing something. And he knew the one thing that would move Kayana is making peace. So he took him to a burial site, and he had the bones of the tribe that killed his father. And they later mourned their father. They sat at a campfire. Kayana and his brothers, they sat there. They cried. They grieved, and it really moved Kayana to actually, you know what, maybe there is a change here.
Kind of basically had a funeral. He probably didn't even get to have a funeral for his father, so
for real,
they gave him that opportunity to do that.
And it's kind of like you on Black Panther, where on the second one where they actually sat down and folded the clothes and burned them, and that's what he finally got. He got that closure, and that right there got him to agree to join the fight. Because other than that, he was not interested in joining anything. And but he still has some type of reservation because he wasn't fully sold, but he was at least not in a position of where, okay, I'm extremely standoffish. And so he gets a visit from Ta'alua, the seer, and she reveals to him what the gods had revealed to her. And she was very vague with it, and she didn't. She spoke in riddles, to which, Kayana was really like, I don't really know what you mean, but okay, And
the last thing she told him to do was take his father's hand, and I wouldn't understand that either. Like, my father is dead.
For real.
I'm not finna go take his corpse and go get his, like, so I didn't even understand it. Watching it too, like, okay, take his father's hand, like, okay, I don't know what that means. And honestly, that reminds me just in general in life, like, that reminds me of more like prophetic, even in like the Christian community, where you kind of get, like, for me, I know personally, I just get these vague, things you just don't know what it even means until you get there and you realize, oh, like we kind of overthink it and feel like we gotta make decisions and do it according to it, and usually falls into place, and that's kind of what happens with him too. It kind of brought to him what that even meant. I think probably like 10 minutes after that, or maybe right after that.
And this is another foreshadow.
Yeah.
Because she kind of foreshadowed that, the one who was promised, I can give you that, is once they accept the role, they will be, they're the one who they're going to unite all the people. And it was at that moment where, Kayana realized, okay, all right, I'm ready for this, and I'm gonna go all in. And then he is gifted the hand, his father's hand.
Really dope.
Now, I'm not gonna tell you what his father's hand is.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
You got to watch that to see what his father's hand is, to understand. Like, but she told him it's gonna be dark. And there's times where, and I know in my personal life where there's been, things I didn't want to fully accept because I didn't understand. And then when I finally, got more clarification on it, it still was kind of like vague, but I knew there was going to be some challenges ahead. Yeah. And I just have to accept it because there is no other way around it. So Kayana, accepted the King Kaikili's invite, and he helped him devise a plan to attack King Ha'ana first to force him to surrender, making the other armies weaker. While and how he was going to do that was he was going to attack Oanu, and the rest of the army with the King Kaikili was supposed to go to Waikiki, and they were not supposed to attack. They were supposed to wait there until Kayana had got done and met back up with them. They was going to try to minimize, the death, because they didn't want to kill everybody. They just wanted to make them weak and surrender. Because if the high priest sees that, okay, he lost an ally, now he might reconsider and back off. Kayana and them, they do what they have to do, but the king doesn't. He changes his mind somewhere down the line. He changed his mind. Kayana, once they realized that, after they stormed the beach, they realized something was wrong. And then he saw the seer again. He saw Ta'alua. And this time she didn't look the same. She looked like she was...
Eyes was completely black, like just...
But
sad, to be honest, or enraged or angry and sad at the same time.
But she realized she didn't know the full prophecy or the full vision of what the gods had given her, because they given it to her in bits and pieces. But she was definitely hurt by what was going on. And then they showed the king, Kaikili, is approaching, and they attack the temple, which nobody attacks the temple ever. But before he even gets to the temple, he murders a young kid ruthlessly.
And the boy wasn't even like, usually sometimes in war, kids will fight you or they'll lure you in, and then get somebody else to come try to kill you. But the boy was not doing that. He was running from him and he was charging towards him. And that kind of took us both for a loop. I'm like, wait, what's going on here now? Like, what? And then they made a statement like these people weren't even they weren't
warriors.
They were farmers. So they looking around like, why are we even attacking them at this point?
And then once they so Kayana rushes towards the temple because they realize that something is not right here.
Yeah.
And once they get there, they see that the temple where they do all the burial and the burial sites, they have the refuge. It's called the Temple of Refuge. It's burning. Like that's in that part of the war that never happens.
Yeah, because they even mentioned it like this is their place of worship. You don't want to just go in here and just start killing off people. Like they're not even trying to fight us. They're probably worshiping or focusing on prayer or whatever they were doing. And they, so they didn't even want to do it, but because of Kaikili, yeah, his orders are what they are. You have to follow the commands of your chief.
And Prince Kupole, who is King Kaikili's son, he was like, whoa, yeah. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Like, you start to see that there's another conflict internally. Prince Kupole realizes that, hey, my father is gone overboard. We haven't, this wasn't a part of the plan. And so Kayana kind of realized at that point, okay, maybe I made a grave mistake. And
so unfortunate.
Sometimes that happens. You follow somebody who they
trust.
They engage interest, they gave you the trust, and you want to believe them that they changed, and then they show you who they really are. And so he's now back into that spot, and even his brothers was like, "What have you done?"
Right.
These people were innocent.
Right.
And then we have another prophecy come into play. There's a level of distrust there, even with between the soldiers and the king and the prince, because now it's like, what are we doing here? This is murder at this point. And
I think like the army or the king's army, I think they were all for whatever, but the son and Kayana, I think them two were both on the same page. Like, this ain't cool. But I think for the army, they just like, hey, this is what we trained to do.
Well, even they was like,
they were shocked.
They were shocked. Like, are we supposed? This is not supposed to happen. And then but at the end of the day,
you gotta follow your orders.
We were given orders, and I'm not trying to be a traitor.
Yeah.
And so they followed suit. Prince Kalupe tells Kayana that his father betrayed him as well, and you see the internal conflict there, and they're looking at the king as a tyrant now. And but Kayana was not trying to hear that, because he don't know who to trust at this point.
Right.
And everybody kind of senses it. So Kayana leaves, and Prince Kalupe advises the war chief, hey, to go follow him, because we can't afford to lose him. Even though, my father is my father, we can't have him leaving again, because now he could turn on us.
Right.
And we don't want him as an enemy, we want him as a friend. And that's where the episode pretty much ends there.
This part is usually kind of where we're just going to go into what our predictions we feel like maybe in the future, it could be the next episode or even just the next couple of episodes, like what really could possibly happen with the information we got from each episode.
There's a part of me that believes that there's Prince Kalupe is more involved than what is being shown. However, I do believe he felt betrayed with his father, because there was things that he was told not to do. Like King Hahana was told was not to be killed. But that didn't happen. Right. And this was the original plan was to minimize the death, but yet they slaughtered the entire village. The king, under the king's orders, the troops slaughtered the entire tribe, left no one alive. And I believe one part of Prince Kalupe is afraid to speak out against his father, because he could, in the mindset that he was in, he could die too.
Right. And
it may not be just at his father's hand. It might be at the hands of the war chief under the command of his father. Like, there's a level of fear there that now he hasn't known this before. And he's kind of doing what he's told. But then there's another side of it, like, hey, if my father unites the tribe and becomes fulfills the prophecy, I'm next in line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's an internal conflict with him. Is when my father goes, I'm going to rule the nation, and when I have seeds, it will continue down the lineage. So there's that part for him too. But I do think that he genuinely, I think he likes, and when I say like, I think he respects Kayana for being a man of his own worth. You know, he's met somebody who thinks of himself, who can defend himself, and who genuinely don't mind who he's comfortable in his own skin.
Right, he doesn't have to need approval from anybody, or like, because a lot of people, when you're born into that like hierarchy, I'm the king, prince, you kind of feel like you got to live your life to persuade or to live up to, you know, those standards, or you gotta people please, you know, and all this stuff. And when you beat somebody who just like, I don't care, you know, I don't care about the titles, you know, and all that other stuff, like, you know, I just care for what's right and how I feel and what's right to me. I think that's a great leader, to be honest. So I think for my prediction, I think that maybe Kayana possibly might kill the king at some point. That's just the only thing I can think of. Like, he's gonna get too crazy, because this, even with what happened on the first episode, just the way he killed that little boy to me was crazy. I was just like, out of all the people you could kill, you're gonna go after a young boy, a child, who running from you. And it just was crazy. So I'm just like, yeah, he's not.
How he did King Hahana.
That too, I just was about to say that. Like, and the crazy part is, the guy died like saying how much he looked up to Kayana. Like, why are y'all doing it? Or
King Kaiku.
Oh, I thought he was talking to Kayana when he said that. Oh, well,
he said King.
Yeah, and he was saying like, oh, okay, I didn't even know that. That makes it even worse.
Because that's who trained him. That's who trained
that
him.
Makes it even worse.
Looked up to him like a father, like as he was his son, and he wanted to be just like him.
That's what he said, and then he just slid his neck. Like that's crazy.
And when you're dealing with somebody on a power trip like that,
they're unstoppable. You gotta kill them. Like I just, they gotta go.
He has no heart for anything, and sometimes those type of people make the best rulers, but they're authoritative, and to the point where
it's unhealthy for everybody.
If I'm willing to kill this guy who I've trained, who I took up under my wing,
and for no reason. It's one thing if he betrayed him or did something to him that, you know, calls for that. I can understand, like, yeah, okay, you got to do what you got to do, but it's for power. It's just all for power.
And when the King Kaikili revealed to Kayana, and really in front of everybody, that there was another prophecy told to him through his seer, it kind of made everybody look like
So now you're withholding information.
Right? You didn't tell us that.
That's the fine print. That's the fine print right
because
there. Like,
we would have never joined this cause had you
and
said
he knew
it.
he would, and he knew they wouldn't have. So you withheld information to get people on your bandwagon to
So you see,
do something highly crazy. Like, just, it's a good show though. It's a good show. Like, I enjoyed episode 1.
For real, you see King Kaikili is a master manipulator. This is where you learn that he can manipulate the best of them.
And the crazy part is, I don't even think Kayana was fully manipulated 100%, but I just think he was more optimistic. Like, all right, let me just see what this is about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
But you can tell, like, everybody kind of fell in suit. And
that's messed up too, though, to use your father's bones. You're having funerals. You acting like you're humble. You asking people, you begging him basically to come back. And then you're using prophecy or, you know, spiritual guidance to manipulate people. Like,
and you see that all the time.
Absolutely. It just reminds me of like today's age. Like a lot
people,
of
especially with
abusing
religion,
their power.
And you see a lot of people, you know, come in the name of the Lord, and then they, you know, they're false prophets. And you see that they twist and it kind of.
And will use your pain, your grief. You got parents. You love your parents. But you're gonna use that to push an agenda, like abusing like the people's feelings and emotions, and it's just unfortunate. Like,
and that even goes outside of, you know, religion as well, because
how many people at jobs?
For real, we all know family members who are willing to use, you know, things that are sensitive to us to use against you, to try to persuade you to do something that crazy, you know, beneficial to them, but not necessarily beneficial to you.
We'll have you in a hole. We'll have you in debt. We'll have you, and that could be debt, financially debt, emotionally debt, in any type of way. But because they're moving up, they don't care nobody cares, like the crabs in the barrel thing. Nobody cares. Like, they just want to move ahead and pull you down while they're moving up. And people get a high off of that. Because the way he was looking on, I think the end of that episode, I said, oh no.
Yeah, he was drunk off power.
Yeah, I said, he act like he done hit a joint or something. Like, it's crazy.
Maybe that'll calm his ass down.
He probably did.
He'd probably sniffed some coke or something that got him all wired up.
For real, tripping.
And when you see that, and the way he killed King Kahana.
He was so young and just you could tell he just had so much life ahead of him.
Man, and he did it in front of everybody. That's a show of power and intimidation.
And then the beautiful part is the boy was so humble that he still honored him, knowing he finna kill him. And that just is like a heart tugger right there. Real. Like, it's a really good show. So this is, honestly, we're gonna end it here because I feel like we done gave all the spoilers. I would encourage you to watch it. They uploaded episode 2 as well, so we did back to back. No, we actually watched it the next day. So our next video, we're gonna go into episode 2. So definitely subscribe, hit the little bell button so you get notified when we do go live or we post any videos.
Oh, she's sleepy. Sorry, she's sleepy.
You can't even see her. She blocked by the laptop, but yeah, she's getting ready to start tripping. So yeah, we gotta go. But we thank you guys for joining. If you like this video, definitely comment below. Tell us what's your take. What is your predictions? What are your predictions? Now, we give one prediction each, video about what we think is going to happen in the future. After watching it, tell us what you would predict or what do you think is going to happen.
Oh yeah.
So out of 5 cupids, we're going to give this
a full 5 cupids.
A full 5 cupids.
So after you see this episode, after you see this air from us, go check it out. I highly recommend it.
If you've already seen it, comment what you like about it. Just let us have a conversation, about the show. So we're gonna end it here, and we'll see you guys next on our next video. Say bye.
Peace.
Say bye bye. Look. Say bye bye.
Say bye.